Hello and welcome to my channel. It's been so long since I've chatted with you guys about really anything. I think the last video I did was sometime back in the spring. And since then, we have found out that we are expecting, and I'm a little over 6.5 months. And my due date is March the 9th. And we are extremely excited about our very first baby. We have been busy nesting, getting the house together, painting and organizing and just getting everything together. And it has been an interesting journey. The pregnancy overall has been going well. We did have a few hiccups. Being 30 and pregnant isn't necessarily easy, but I don't know that any and every pregnancy is that much. 30 and pregnant has been quite the journey. It has been easier than I ever thought. I used to be one of those young girls who thought by the time I'm 30, I'm going to have all the kids that I'm going to have. And, you know, life is funny that way. It teaches you lessons that you never even thought that you would have to learn. And being 30 and pregnant is not as bad as I made it out to be. But nonetheless, it has been an overall joy. It has been a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Now, let me just give you guys a recap of how things have been going the last 6 months. So, for the first 3 months of the pregnancy, I did not cook at all. I was not in the kitchen. Big shout out to my husband because he would come home 6-7 o'clock in the evening to make sure I ate something. He took over the kitchen duties, so I do appreciate that. But nonetheless, I had food aversions, but I'm honestly not sure they were that big because I just really more so didn't have an appetite. But I do know one thing that I did not like was salads. I did not like salads. The thought of a salad would just make me want to vomit. So needless to say, I really didn't eat super healthy or anything. I made sure to watch what I eat. I made sure to watch what I was eating, and then also to watch the portions that I was eating because I didn't want to have my blood pressure raised or anything like that, which is one of the issues I thought that I would have. And being 30 and pregnant and initially having blood pressure issues that I do attribute to my weight. Prior to getting pregnant, I dropped 20 pounds. So my blood pressure ended up being great so far, so good. So I haven't had to go on any medications. The doctors have not had any concerns. So that was a win for me in my book. And also, I have fibroids, and I have about 3 to 4 fibroids, and they have been holding steady at about 2 to 3 inches, or the diameter size. They're about the size of a golf ball. About 3 of them are, but they have not been giving me any issues thus far, and I hope that that continues. And being 30 and pregnant and having fibroid issues and blood pressure issues, it was a fear of mine. But I went to the doctor prior to getting pregnant, and they referred me to a specialist. And the specialist told my husband and I that the chances of us getting pregnant were slim to none. So the fact that we are here and baby girl is doing healthy, we could not be more happy to receive this blessing. So for all of you out there who feel like it'll never happen for you, or the doctors tell you it can't happen, sometimes you just have to go with the flow, honey, and just see what happens and go from there. That is all I can tell you. That is my piece of advice. And I was very nervous the first trimester to even announce this information to anyone that we were expecting because I was hesitant. I didn't know, would I be able to carry the term? Would I be able to have a healthy baby? But at each doctor's appointment, with each heartbeat that we heard, and just hearing the ultrasound technician tell us that she is doing phenomenal just warms my heart more than anyone will ever know. I'm sure other mothers out there who have been told the same thing, who made it through after being told that they wouldn't have children or be able to have children. I'm sure you know what a blessing it is once you actually have that child. So that has been a slight recap of how this journey has been, other than a little nausea and lately getting into my third trimester. Of course, I've had the back pains, but that is a new onset. So if I only have to deal with that for the next 3 months, then so be it, because I didn't really have those kinds of issues early on, which I'm totally happy to say that physically I was doing well, other than being a little tired. So I think for me, aside from the fibroids and aside from the blood pressure and things like that, the normal part of pregnancy that got me was fatigue. And I mean, in the beginning, I would get sleepy between the hours of 2 and 3 o'clock. Well, between 1 and 3. And for me, that meant I was out for the count. Like I would be at work dragging. And I remember one time I took a trip home to see my mom, and I left at about 1. And it wasn't until I got on the road that I was like, why did I leave at this time? Because the fatigue was just almost unbearable. But I made it through, made it safe to my mom and back home. And so it was fine. But then that switched up to 11 a.m. where I could not make it through the later part of the morning. Other than that, I have been doing amazing. I've been doing better than the specialist thought that I would be, seeing as how I'm pregnant and all. I can't express enough how overjoyed I am that the specialist was wrong. And other than that, let's see, I didn't have any cravings, but the one thing that did change for me was that I always had to have lemonade or something lemony, because like a half and half at least. And I don't know what it was. It wasn't until I got pregnant, because I'm not a lemonade drinker. I mean, I'll drink it, but it's not my preferred choice. So that and Snickers and pizza was my vices. I wouldn't say cravings, but they were something that at times I just had to have. So let's see, what else in my journey? The joys of being 30 and pregnant versus 20 something and pregnant, I think for me has been the fact that I got to be a wife, and a wife only, and enjoy my time with my husband and really come into our own as one without having the distraction or the pressures of having a child and being married all at once. For me, that has been one of the biggest joys that I have had. No offense to anyone else. I'm just saying that I have truly enjoyed dating my husband, being engaged to my husband, being married for a while, and then deciding to have children. Looking back, I would do it again in that order every single time, because it is just something about being able to keep the focus on you and your husband and just truly learning how to merge two lives together that I really enjoyed. The highs and the lows, I really enjoyed it all. We got to pick up and go when we wanted. We got to enjoy late nights out. We got to enjoy all of the aspects that most people experience just only when they're dating, or early on when they're dating, because maybe they had kids or what have you. We were able to do that as husband and wife, and that was just something that I really enjoyed. And so now we get to move into this next phase of life as from husband and wife to mommy and daddy, and we're pretty much solid in our unit, and many people don't get to experience that. So I'm glad we had us time before we decided to have children. As I said, we're having a baby girl. I don't know if anyone caught that, but we are having a baby girl, and I cannot wait to meet her, and I hope she's so chunky and juicy and just, I work with children, and my favorite babies are the ones that are just chunky and juicy and have the cheeks and the legs, and they're just gorgeous. And so, you know, I hope that my baby girl is one of those juicy babies. It's just something about them. I don't know. But I'm not going to love her any less if she's not chunky. But judging by the way her dad was as an infant and a child, and judging by the way I was as an infant and a child up until recent years even, I'm sure she's going to be chunky and juicy and all of the above. So I cannot wait to meet her. Let's see. So we are overjoyed with the fact that we are having a girl. We did want our first baby to be a baby girl. We have no idea why, but that's what we really wanted, and the Lord granted our wishes. So again, we are thrilled. So following this video will be subsequent videos about my favorite pregnancy items, how I'm preparing in my third trimester, doctor's appointments, and just how I'm growing and how baby girl is growing. And maybe I'll get my husband in a few videos. I'm not really sure because it's not really his thing, but maybe he'll chime in here and there. But it feels so good to be back talking to you all again. And of course, any questions, comments, or concerns, or things that you want to see in the videos, please comment below. And until next time, bye.